Hi everyone, let's talk about Ticket to Ride France. So briefly, I'll just mention, in case you didn't watch the whole playthrough, I mentioned a bit about what the Old West side is. This comes with France and the Old West on the other side. So Old West, as you might expect, it's the Wild Wild West you're playing in, and the locations are different. You start off with, you have some city markers, you'll start off on a city in the map, and you can only build out from that city. So it's not like normal Ticket to Ride where you can just claim whatever you like. You have to build, adjacent to tracks you've already got. Also, when you build cities, which you can do by discarding some cards, you claim that city, and in the future, if anyone completes a ticket with that city on it, then you get the points for it and not them. So it's a much more interactive, blocking people off, trying to work out what they are doing, which there can be a bit of in the France one, but it's much more pronounced and competitive in the Old West one. But the playthrough was of the France one, which is the one that we would choose out of the two of them. So Ticket to Ride in general, it's a very early game that we got. We got it when we were very new to board games, and I would still say that even though I've played, New York 1901 and things like that, where you think, wow, this is going to make a great gateway game. Eventually, all of those things like New York 1901 used to be up there. You might notice if you're paying a lot of attention to these things that it's not there anymore. It's just like, we don't really have those situations where we need to bring out a gateway game for something. I've got a brother who's 11, and sometimes, he's not really interested if it's not FIFA. So it's good sometimes where if you just want to bring out a board game, then it's something like Carcassonne or Ticket to Ride, or just, they are the classics and they are, played to death and all of this stuff. But there is a reason. It's just such a smooth and simple system, which all of these other things are as well. New York 1901 was a fantastic game, but in the end, it just feels like I'll just keep Ticket to Ride around. Having said that, though, I won't pretend that we ever play Ticket to Ride and that it occurs to us, just me and Rachel, who's my girlfriend that I play most of my games with. It would never ever occur to us to just like, oh, I fancy a game of Ticket to Ride now. It's not happened since, those days of being very, very new to board gaming. But we do keep it around just for those situations. Just it's worth having just a couple. But the France one, I did enjoy the change that it makes, where you are not just the decisions you have to make of which tracks to put down, but also you're delayed in just claiming your tracks as well, because if you just get the perfect cards for you, well, great, you can't just claim all of these tracks because you can only put one of the track pieces down every draw cards action. So you are limited in that way as well, and you're always at risk of revealing your hand to the other people. If you put down only a size 2 blue in a really crowded one, say you're playing with 4 players or 5 players, and you put down a size 2 blue in a really crowded area, well, good luck getting that, because another player might just have 2 and just think, well, it's there, maybe I'll need to get there, it's the only track opportunity that's left there. So you're always at risk of, and then it could lead to bluffing of I'll just put this down here near my tracks, making it look like I want that, so someone might try and take it away from me. Or in this that happened where I tried to wall Marty in with yellow tracks. There's a lot of different things that can go on with this, and I expect, like with a lot of the stuff, there are a couple of rule changes in Ticket to Ride to make it better for 2 players, but I would imagine it's always going to be far better at higher player counts, just because even though there are the double and triple spaces on some areas of the boards, which is true for the the base Europe game and probably normal Ticket to Ride. I've only really played Europe, but even though it is a bit more open in that respect, there'll be far more getting in the way of each other, which is kind of what it's about as well. You have to get around them now that somebody has built a track there. Not necessarily they were trying to get in your way. They've got their own tickets too, and you are trying to make it work. You can usually, in a 2-player game, you can get in each other's way a bit, and maybe if you draw tickets towards the end and you get a battle and you don't get a lucky draw, then you're going to be a bit unstuck, but you're probably going to get to do a lot of your tickets, especially if, like in this game, the majority of the tickets that you keep to try and, because you want to keep tickets that vaguely form a route, if they're quite separate to each other, then yeah, you're not really going to get it in each other's way. But that's a symptom of just a 2-player game of Ticket to Ride, which I imagine it will be much better with more. But just for the France version, I really like it. It is like a breath of fresh air to see this strange trackless board with only a few bits of color on it, and then as the game goes on, you are filling it with color. And some of these are very limited as well. There's only one each of the size 5s and the size 4s, more of the smaller ones. but it can be very limiting to, even though you don't really know what cards you're going for, it changes that as well. You don't need a particular color, you are defining the color, but then what if it gets defined before you? What if that color you were saving up for, everybody can see that you're drawing those colored cards? What if I see that you've been drawing white cards, like you've drawn 5 of them, and I can guess there's not that many 5s on the board. I can guess the one that you're going to do, and I'm going to draw cards, and I'm going to take a red 5 and place that there instead. And so now you can't, you've built up for this whole thing, and now you're going to have to go all around the houses or something trying to get to where you needed, and hope that you can use your white cards still. It will lead to a lot of interesting situations, and it's just a fresh way to play a game that I imagine that if people are big fans of Ticket to Ride, you will have played it a lot and gotten very used to the way that the standard maps work, whether it's the Europe or the original one that you've got, and it will be a breath of fresh air. As I say, I'll be completely honest that it's too light a game for us to ever really bring out, but it's one that we like having, and it's just another fresh way of playing it. Here's Marty, by the way. But I'm finished talking now. Say hello, Marty. Bye.